In terms of selenium, obviously what you're using in the oils is quite different to what you're reading online because you're using selenite.
That's correct.
We didn't discuss it earlier, but I think it's an important point just because a lot of people won't be using that.
All right. So one of the ways you can find out whether your soils are deficient is to go and see what the farmers are using. And when I discussed this molybdenum deficiency with a doctor, he said, "Oh, that's curious because my goats, they've got this condition and it's been identified as molybdenum deficiency." If you talk to the guys who are making the fertilizer and you ask them what they're using selenite. So in cattle and everything, they've worked it out. These guys, they know they have to put the right thing in. It's too expensive not to. Selenite works and works very well if you're B12 deficient. Selenomethionine, which is the one that a lot of people use, is treated like methionine in the body. So it goes to proteins that have methionine, and so you get this selenomethylated proteins. You can process it through to get the selenium off it if you're B12 sufficient. So if you're functionally sufficient in selenium, so that you're now functionally sufficient in B2, so you're functionally sufficient in B12, you can process selenomethionine. But if you're not, you can't. So selenomethionine is also being used because it's toxic. So at very high doses, it has anti-cancer effect. At very high doses, much higher than what we recommend anyone takes. But this is cited as a reason for not using it. So, it's important. It has to be selenite. And with molybdenum, there's a molybdate transport system. So you have to use molybdate as well.
Okay. Very important points, actually. I'm glad we just got that in there too.
There's one more very, very important thing, which I've discovered. And that is that they're putting these things now into multivitamins. So the vitamin industry has realized that there's a call for these things. You have a Pregnacare, I think it is, a multivitamin for pregnancy, and we have an Elevate, which is made by Bayer. Now, both of them have calcium and copper. They have selenite in them, but they have calcium and copper in them. And so we found out by personal experience that the Elevate, the selenium doesn't work in it. And when I went back and I had a look at the preparation, it's got calcium and copper in it. So this selenite is not being taken up, even though it's in the product. And that's because this complexation with divalent cations like copper and magnesium and calcium and zinc. So you've got to be very careful of these preps that they don't mix too much in them so that they don't work. So, and it's annoying because the thing you want to recommend to a pregnant lady is the right sort of multivitamin. And yet here are the two premier multivitamins, one in Australia and one in the UK, and the formulation's wrong.